right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. And right here, right now, we are joined by Scotland-based band 3 Out of 4. This is their very first radio interview they have ever done, and Punk World Radio gets to deliver it to them. Guys, how is everything out there in Scotland tonight? Or should I say, in your case, this morning?
Doing good. Yeah, really good.
Cold.
Yeah, cold. Very cold. Yeah.
I got to admit, it's not super cold here in Canada. We're just getting into the summer portion of the year, but we had a lot of rain the past couple of days, so all the humidity went down. So it's a little, I would say it's in between. It's definitely a refresher to get away from the heat waves.
Definitely. Well, it's been quite mixed over here. We've had a couple of days of sunshine, but summer in Scotland's very unpredictable.
It's typical Scottish weather.
Yeah.
I've met a few people throughout the years in my journeys through the music industry. They're from Scotland, and I pretty much heard the same thing, that it's almost like the weather out in London. It fluctuates a lot of rain, and sometimes you get some hot weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I know you guys are very busy individuals, so of course I'm going to dive right into this, but I got to take you back to the beginning of 3 Out of 4, and I just have to ask, what is the story behind this band? How did you three first meet and come together as one just to form this band?
Okay, so it's a long story, so bear with us. So I started the band off in 2019, and then I met Mia. We were getting ready for a tour that we did with our friends on the Sunday. You guys have actually broadcast, it's amazing that they're getting airplay on radio as well. We had a tour with them as part of a kind of Kickstarter for young artists to get out there and tour around Scotland. It was amazing, and Mia came on as a bassist for that. She was from the local area, and we met up, jammed, and we just seemed to gel well with our styles. And then Duncan came on, I want to say October 2022. About then. Yeah, and we had a gig that we had in Edinburgh, which we just played at tonight. Over at a really awesome venue, Stinky Pete's. It's a really legendary venue in Edinburgh, about 150 capacity, but you get so many amazing bands perform there. And we had about 4 days for Duncan to learn a 12-song set, and I got to say he did pretty well. I don't know what his personal experience of that was, but it was great to have him on board with the band. He's been with us ever since. So yeah, we all kind of came about at separate times, but that's the long short story of it.
And I gotta ask, did you find it difficult actually learning those 12 songs in such a very short period of time, or do they just come naturally to you? Because I do know, I have heard stories that new members join bands and they just absolutely learn it, snap of the fingers, it's meant to be, but then it's kind of gut-wrenching, oh my god, how am I going to learn these so quickly? What was your experience just trying to relearn these songs?
Stressful, because it was 4 days to learn an hour's set, basically. But I've played drums for 13 years, so a lot of it is just keep the rhythm, try not to do anything too mad, just keep all nice and tight, and then work on getting it perfect later.
Well, I gotta say, you're definitely doing a stellar job, man. I gotta say, me personally, I'm not a musician, that's why I became a DJ, so I definitely leave it to pros like yourself to just learn all the music. I just play the music. You guys make it, I just spin it. But also, December 3rd of 2019, you guys actually released the 5-track EP titled Divide. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this earlier release project. And of course, is it actually still out there to be streamed or purchased today?
Yeah, so Divide, that was a long time ago. At that time, I was a member of the band who's still in the band. So when we recorded that was a long time ago. And obviously releasing an EP just before the pandemic, it was a bit of a weird time period because we had a lot of this momentum that we built up. And we worked with a couple of friends who were in the local area. We're all from the Scottish Borders area, so we had a few friends that we reached out to and they said that we could record a couple of tracks and end up becoming an EP. It was a good experience though, because it got us on our feet. It gave us the opportunity to really put out songs there that we believed in at the time, and those songs are still out on streaming platforms. Spotify. Yeah, and I think it's important that those songs stay on the album as well. We've shown our progression with the band. We've been going for five years now, and to see that progression from the first EP now, it's fascinating for the listeners who are just finding us for the first time.
And the one thing I have to ask, because obviously I'm way out here in Canada, I'm on the other side of the world, and obviously our punk rock community is starting to flourish. We have amazing festivals like Pooza out in Montreal. So many amazing punk rock shows. But I have to ask, what is the punk rock community like out there in Scotland?
It's well from our perspective, it's starting to flourish. There's definitely a sort of underground scene that's building over in places like Glasgow and Edinburgh. As we mentioned before, we mentioned Sunday from Aberdeen. There's a few bands from Aberdeen that are starting to build up as well. Really, the challenge for punk, as it is with any genre, is just about building the networking connections. But over time, you come across these acts and you find the similar styles of genres, and you all eventually just kind of collaborate. It's one big community that you have to build up. I don't know from your two perspective what you two think of that.
There's a huge variety of type of genres of music within the local scene. Like you can get all sorts. We played with like metal bands, played with pop, like some very pop type stuff. We played with some like
Indie.
indie, a lot of indie and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a huge variety of music genres that are popping up and all around this local scene.
Yeah, but it's good because it means there's a lot of exposure to different styles that we always try to incorporate into our music. So it's really good exposure.
And also as well, I actually read on your guys' website that you also are an alumni of the Hit the Road Summer 2022 tour. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this particular tour. And of course, what was one of your most fondest memories of just being on the road? Because I looked into it. There's so many amazing cities and towns you guys actually hit on the Hit the Road Summer tour.
Yeah, of course. So the Hit the Road tour was the one that Mia first came onto the band in that tour, and it was a great experience. It was basically it was a kickstarting project ran by a funding group called Creative Scotland, and they put in a lot of money into this group called Hit the Road, who give artists that are starting out their first chance to really push out, go on tour. Probably the most notable alumni of that tour, of the various tours that they've had over the years, would have been Sam Fender. He did it back in 2017. No, not Sam. I don't want to about. Louis Capaldi, he did it back in 2017, 2018, and there's been loads of artists that have been on it since. And yeah, it's just that it's a great opportunity. It's all organized. They have their own tour managers, and they book the venues, and it gives the artists the opportunity to play at places that they might not have they might not have the opportunity to play at. So we started off the tour over at Edinburgh at a venue called Mash House. We then went up to Aberdeen with our friends in the Sunday, and then we ended up in our hometown in Galashiels in Scottish Borders, and it was fantastic. My fondest memory would have been going to the different places and just immersing ourselves in the culture and working with the bands. That was my favorite memory. Mia, what about yourself?
Well, that was my first time playing actual live music within the music scene. Actually, before that, I didn't really do much live performing, so probably that, because it's pretty much what started live performing for me.
On that tour, so
Yeah.
Comment from Duncan.
And also, February 24th of 2024, you guys actually released the acoustic song titled Rain. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this song, and of course, what actually made you guys decide to venture into the acoustic aspect of your guys' music, because I gotta say, this song is absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. So, Yeah, with our music, in the punk genre, we often find we find that when you're writing a song, if you can write a song and it only involves a few instruments, that usually means it's a really good song. When I'm in the process of writing music, I always try and map it out either on piano or on guitar, acoustic guitar. And if it works in that setting, it can really work in any genre. And obviously, we put out the full version a long time ago. And there was a bit of a lull period in between the previous year and this year. So I basically took it upon myself to try and reimagine the song in a way because it was a year to when we originally released the song, and we wanted to give fans, the band who've been listening for the song for a long time. It's currently our most successful song on streaming platforms, which we're really grateful for. We wanted to give them an opportunity to listen to it in a new light, and I think we've achieved that. It's a very different arrangement, but it brings out elements that people otherwise wouldn't necessarily associate with the song like that. And it turns a lot of the messages on its head. And it's always fascinating when you get a song that has a certain vibe, and then artists are able to spin it and turn it into something completely different. It's proof that the song itself is strong, no matter what context.
And I have to ask as well, because obviously, like you mentioned, this song is actually one of your most successful songs on your streaming platforms. And since it's acoustic, do you guys have any plans to kind of like maybe do an acoustic EP or an acoustic album? Since this song, your most successful song currently today is an acoustic song.
Well, I don't know if Dunk would be fond of that. He likes his sticks. He likes to play on the drums. Maybe it's something that you always consider as an artist. How do you reinvent yourself? And with a genre like punk, while there's so many different strands of punk, it's always tricky for an artist to kind of take what they've done in the past and reinvent it. So maybe we may delve back into the acoustic realm here and there, but that'll be for future us to decide, as it were.
Sort of things that the acoustic stuff as well kind of opens up more gigs as well.
Yeah.
Like not every gig has to be live, cranked to 11. You can have a nice calm one, but still keep it somewhat punk.
Yeah, there's a really great open mic circuit in Scotland with loads of different venues, loads of smaller venues. The one that we just played at tonight, Banshees and Whistle Binkies, not far from it. They both do open mic sets. And obviously, whilst you can't always have a full band, it's great for people to be able to rock up with a minimalistic approach, and it still sounds like a full arrangement. So yeah, it's a challenge, but it will be something that we may try and do in the future.
And also, while we're actually on the topic of EPs and albums, May 23rd, 2024, you guys actually released your 5-track EP titled Kindred Spirits. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this amazing record, and of course, are there any hard copies of this EP available to be purchased right now?
Well, to answer the latter question, we'd love to get a physical release out. We're in the process of just working all the details out. Most likely they'll only be available in the UK, but if we're able to push the EP out enough, you never know. There may be some sort of process that goes out. But when we were in the process of writing Kindred Spirits, we had a lot of songs that we've written from the pandemic, and going forward. For me personally, the EP kind of acts as a front to back from where the pandemic was to the end of 2023 in my life as it was going on. I just finished a music degree, and there was all that going on. Obviously, you two have your own experiences as well. We all work very different careers in our day jobs. I run a lot of music projects. Duncan, you have a full-time job as
Manual labourer.
Yeah. Yeah, and me, it's still doing stuff in school as well. Yeah. And she works on a lot of music projects as well. So for us, working in these different environments, that's where a lot of the inspiration for the title and the songs came in. The EP covers topics like procrastination, inspiration, friendship, teamwork. It covers all those themes, which are key to working in the creative industry as well. So we felt writing an EP about that as almost a polar opposite to our first EP was a strong direction to go with.
And I gotta say as well, the song Sleeper Train is actually my favorite track off this entire EP. I love every song, but if I had to choose one, it's definitely gonna be Sleeper Train.
Oh, thank you. We really appreciate that. We actually we found out a couple of days ago that it's been playlisted on Apple Music's new and rock playlist, which is fantastic. There's a lot of great artists on there. There's a brilliant Scottish artist from Edinburgh called Dead Pony who are also on that playlist. So just a quick shout out to them. But yeah, Sleeper Train is just whilst we didn't release it as a single, it's a song that we always open with in our live sets just because it kicks the door down. There's a lot of high energy to it, and people always move about when we play that song. So it's a lot of fun to open our sets up with because it gauges how the rest of the night will be. So yeah, it's a fantastic song. We're really proud of it.
And also, right now, you guys are currently on tour where you just got done doing a show in Edinburgh at least a few hours ago, and it is actually called Is It a Tour? I was wondering if you can actually tell us what other cities are next on your list, and of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some tickets to come on out and see you guys live if we are going to be in the Scotland or even United Kingdom area?
Yeah, so yes, we just wrapped up our show in Edinburgh. We've got a few other shows in Edinburgh as well, and then we're going to be playing. We've got 2 gigs over in Newcastle. We played at Newcastle at the end of last year, which is absolutely fantastic. We'd never played there before, and it was a really warm welcome. And we're playing it twice in July, which is going to be fantastic. And we've also got a gig down in Berwick-upon-Tweed, which is just across the border from Scotland to England. So that'll be a lot of fun. There's various ticket retailers for the fans of us who are listening in the UK. There's various retailers that are going to be putting tickets up. And if you want to find where the best place is, you can either check out our socials, where our Linktree will have ticket links to most of the gigs that are up, or you can check out our website, which is www.3out4.com. It has all the ticket information on there. If it's all up to date, it should have all the ticket info. And where we're going to be playing next as well. And we're still updating. There's a few gigs that we've yet to fully announce, but we're gonna keep them coming and hopefully push on. And then we're gonna probably take a break for August and then come back after that. But we're just running through this run of gigs, and it's been great to have a real series of gigs and build momentum. Check out our website if you want to find out more.
And obviously, you guys are currently on tour. You have an album that just dropped literally less than a month ago. But what is next for 3 out of 4? Is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview? Anything else you three still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? Well, we still got you here live on 99.9 FM tonight.
Ooh, okay. So we've all got our own things that we're going off to do in the summer after tour. Once we've finished our tour in July, I'm busy over in Edinburgh during the Edinburgh Fringe, involved in various shows. Mia, I know you're involved in some volunteering work in Scottish Borders.
Yeah, our local home venue. I'm probably going to be volunteering a lot there, behind the scenes and gigs and stuff.
What about you, Dylan?
I've just recently taken up another role playing drums for a band from Glasgow, and they're talking gigs coming up from like October time, so no stuff for that. And other just guys I just jam with, we just write music. Might see it get on a stage, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we're all going to be doing our own individual things, but along with that, we've got a few songs that we want to release down the pipeline. We've already got a couple of singles planned, and maybe some collaborations in between there as well. We're currently deciding whether to, release the current material we've got as all singles or as a collection, like how we did with Kindred Spirits. It'll really just depend on fan reception. So if you like what we're doing at the moment, go and check it out and let us know. Because the more feedback we get, the more we know we're moving in the right direction with the band.
And I do know a few moments ago you just dropped your website, but for the individuals that are just chiming into the interview now, or give them time to actually get out their phones, if you can, before we actually part ways here this evening, what are your social media handles? That way the listeners down here in Canada that aren't already following 3 out of 4, they can follow you all across the board, and of course, bookmark that website of yours as well.
Of course, yeah. So if you want to discover more about 3 out of 4, you can check us out on our social medias. We're on Insta, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, even though it's a very scary place at the moment. Pretty much all our handles should be 3_out_4. Some variation of that should be pretty much most of the handles. 3_out_4. And you can check out our website, which is www.3outof4.com. You can find all the information on that, where we're next playing, when our next music's coming out, updates on tours, and yeah, everything in between.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station Airways a bit of your time. And of course, staying up super late just to chat with myself and the listeners. I know 2 a.m., especially after a gig, honestly is not very pleasant. So thank you so much for a little bit of your time. It's such an honor to speak with Scotland's finest. Hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, definitely have yourselves a phenomenal morning and, of course, a great night's sleep as well, because you guys definitely deserve that.
Excellent. No worries, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome. Thank you so much again, and have yourselves a phenomenal night and morning.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Excellent. Cheers, man. Bye.